I mean, come on now. If you really, really, really got to do that surgery, which I'm not knocking anybody for doing it, I would suggest that you do it in the States simply because of the medical treatment and procedures is 10 times better and safer. Right? You hear about people all the time going to get these surgeries, some go wrong, and then they don't make it. Whether it's or during or after, it's some type of blood pressure thing or just bad surgery in general, and then come to find out these doctors don't be fully certified. It's just not worth it. It's a bad.
A tragic ending to the search of 4 Americans kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico at gunpoint last week. Mexican authorities saying 2 of the victims were found dead, their bodies for now held at a morgue there. The State Department announcing the 2 surviving Americans are already back in the U.S. This video appearing to show the group as they were being kidnapped by heavily armed men and thrown into the back of a pickup truck. The 4 Americans have been identified as Shaib Woodward, Latavia Tay McGee, Zindel Brown, and Eric Williams. McGee's mother, who previously said her daughter went to Mexico for a cosmetic medical procedure, telling ABC News in a phone call that the FBI informed her daughter is one of the survivors.
I had to hold my heart. I said, I'm so appreciative. I was thinking the Lord. I said, thank you, Jesus, for God.
Michelle Williams confirms to ABC that her husband Eric is the other survivor. Mexican officials say he was found suffering from a gunshot wound to the leg. U.S. officials say gunmen began shooting at the group's minivan, which had North Carolina plates, then kidnapped the people inside. One Mexican bystander was also killed. This part of Mexico is a place Americans are warned not to travel to.
This is considered by the State Department a level 4, which says that's what Afghanistan is a level 4. That these are not places that any American should be going.
This incident highlighting the drug-related violence occurring south of the border among Mexican cartels.
The DEA and the FBI are doing everything possible to dismantle and disrupt and ultimately prosecute the leaders of the cartels.
Mexican authorities say at least 1 person has been arrested in connection to the kidnapping, adding the bodies of the 2 killed Americans will be transferred to the U.S. later today. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Yo, what's happening? It's your man OG Bo Beats TV. Come here today, no special video. What's good? What's happening YouTube? It's your man OG Bo Beats, and I'm back with another video for you today. Tragic news, man. Tragic news that's been circulating, going viral about this. I saw this a couple days ago, and man, it's just real sad. Rest in peace to the people that didn't make it back. But just like the story said, 4 people. Sounds like 1 woman and 3 males decided to take a trip to Mexico. I guess because the woman had scheduled an appointment to get a tummy tuck / BBL or whatever they saying. And basically when they got to the border, all hell was breaking loose. They didn't know nothing about it. They got caught in the crossfire, got shot, kidnapped. Couple of them died, couple of them made it. And it's just all bad, man. So yeah, I'm gonna just give you my reaction to this story, give you my thoughts. So first of all, like I said, rest in peace to the family. This is tragic. Wouldn't wish this on anybody, but it's a lot of things in here that we need to break down. So one, right, first and foremost, why would you drive from South Carolina, North Carolina to Mexico? That's a very long drive in itself. Just to get a procedure. So the procedure, I'm thinking, must have been super cheap for them to actually pay the money to drive, to rent a car, to spend gas, to drive all the way to Mexico. And let me say this. Let me start off by saying this before I get too deep. I'm not at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion blaming the victims. I'm not a victim blamer. I understand that. I believe in the person who does the act should be the person that's getting charged or talked about, not the people. I'm just trying to break down on why and what led up to this event, and maybe this will spark something in somebody to think twice about it if they decide to do it. But they drive down to Mexico. Apparently, from what I've been reading, a couple of the guys that was in the group didn't want to go. They had their doubts. In fact, I heard one of the guys that got killed, I don't know if it was the Zindel I think Brown was his name. He didn't want to go. Like they said they thought it was a bad idea. I mean, in the last 5-10 years, 10 years, 15 even maybe, Mexico has been a war zone with the drug cartels. Like, you got to be living under a rock not to know this. Everybody knows, have heard of El Chapo, the Sinaloa cartel, all these different cartels. And it's a lot more that we don't know about, because the drug trade is so big, it's so, illustrious. And it's, a lot of people are making a lot of money off of it. And the value of life in Mexico is completely different than what we value life here. I mean, there's a lot of shooters and stuff in the U.S., but Mexico is like, bodies dropping on top of bodies. And it's nothing that the government seems to be able to do to get that under control. Going to Mexico for a medical procedure, like I said, I'm assuming it was a lot cheaper to do that, but I just don't get, by the time you pay the gas and just taking the trip all the way down there, the risk level for the reward, which was a tummy tuck by a doctor. A lot of times these doctors in the foreign countries are not fully certified, and they don't do all of the proper procedures before, during, and after. That's why you hear about a lot of deaths. I hear about a lot of people going to Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, or I don't know, Dominican Republic for sure. A lot of places like that to get these procedures, because it's a lot cheaper. You see a lot of people talk about it online, a lot of these IG models, a lot of these, even some of the celebrities or whatever the case may be. Hey, listen, it's not worth it. All right. A lot of this could be broken down in so many ways. Did she need to go? I don't know. She was a mother of 6, apparently. And, luckily she made it back, or she only got shot, or I don't even think she got shot. But she got kidnapped or whatever, but she's fine. And her and the other guy that got shot, he got shot 3 times in the leg. They took them to a hospital in Texas. Hopefully they'll be back home soon. But the whole story is just crazy, man, when you break it down. I mean, it's no way that I would go to Mexico. I wonder why people go to these places all the time, the Cancuns and Tulums. And I'm not knocking anybody's travel, but I always was wondering that, like, why go to these places where that these type of things are going on, these cartels, these drug trades. I don't know if you know about El Paso, Texas, but it's a military base right there, Fort Bliss. And it's right on the border of, I'm not sure I'm going to say it wrong, but Cedia Juarez or something like that. And they don't allow, the personnel on the base to go over there. You can actually get in trouble if you get caught going across the border, but it's for safety purposes. That's how dangerous it is. So I just don't understand, what kind of research are we doing? 3 males, 1 female, 4 adults. Somebody had to do some research, because obviously somebody was saying that they weren't sure about the trip. They didn't feel safe going, but they went anyway. So I'm going to tell you something. In 2002, or maybe 3, I can't remember. I think it was 2. I was living in Texas, and I went on a spring break trip with 2 buddies of mine, and we went to South Padre Island. While in South Padre Island, you could look and see the correlation. We decided to go to Mexico. So I'm going to tell you something. We drove to the Mexican border. We got out of the car, and we walked across the U.S.-Mexican border into the same town that these unfortunate people got shot. Matramos. We was in Brownsville. You drive, and you can walk right across the border. We walked right across the border. And I can tell you a few things I remember. As soon as we got across the border, somebody was there offering us drugs, fun, anything we wanted. As soon as we got across the border, we was like, we good, bro. We good. We'll pass. We walked through the city. We went to the little market. I remember as you walk through the city, it's little stores and restaurants, and they would come out and see Americans and try to get you to come in a restaurant and spend some money. Beers was $1. I remember that specifically. Like, you get a beer for $1, and you was getting overcharged for that. But I mean, it was just $1 to us. And we spent some of the day, and then we walked back out. As you walking out, and there's a lot of people coming and going, so it wasn't like it was just us And they kind of watching you as you walk out. If you look suspicious, I don't know, they stop you, but they let us walk out. I think we had to pay like 50 cents to get in or out, something like that. But at the time, this was like 20 years ago for sure. And yeah, I mean, and it felt dangerous back then. So I could just imagine now. You drive over there in a car, in an American car with American plates. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Texas plates. I'm sure they see Texas plates a lot in that city, but if you come with some different state plates, you are a target. Also, CNN, I want to say, reported that they could have been mistaken for Haitian immigrant or Haitian drug smugglers too. So I've heard about the Haitian people trying to come in through Mexico to get into the United States, and they were getting denied way more than a lot of the Mexican immigrants. I don't know the full story about that. We know the Border Patrol issues that's going on, in the administration. So I don't even know what's the whole deal with that. But apparently that could have been one of the reasons they got hit up, or maybe they just got caught in the crossfire. But either way, we got to do better, because that situation was definitely avoidable. We walked right across the border. And I can tell you a few things I remember. As soon as we got across the border, somebody was there offering us drugs, fun, anything we wanted. As soon as we got across the border, we was like, we good, bro. We good. We'll pass. We walked through the city. We went to the little market. I remember as you walk through the city, it's little stores and restaurants, and they was come out and see Americans and try to get you to come in a restaurant and spend some money. Beers was $1. I mean, come on now. If you really, really, really got to do that surgery, which I'm not knocking anybody for doing it, I would suggest that you do it in the States simply because of the medical treatment and procedures is 10 times better and safer, right? You hear about people all the time going to get these surgeries, some go wrong, and then they don't make it. Whether it's or during or after, it's some type of blood pressure thing or just bad surgery in general, and then come to find out these doctors don't be fully certified. It's just not worth it. It's a bad move. Two, and this may be me just talking, but a lot of y'all don't even need these surgeries, man. Just work out, eat better. I know that sounds easier than it probably is, but you can't make these things happen overnight like that. Like, I don't know what they was thinking, but somebody should have stepped up to the plate and really told her no. It sounds like people had this on their mind, but nobody fully said no. All right, they was trying to support. I get that. But it was a bad idea, man. And unfortunately, this happened. I see a lot of people online saying a lot of different stuff. Somebody said, we should call the troops up, go to Mexico. I'm like, man, please. Y'all wishy-washy with the troops. Sometimes y'all want the troops. Sometimes y'all hate the troops. I ain't no troops getting called up, right? Because that'd be a crazy war going on. And the war is not against Mexico. It's against the bad guys in Mexico. Let's be clear. So, but yeah, man, I mean, that's a tragic situation. It's all over the news, all over social media. South Carolina, North Carolina, like I said, just a very bad decision making. As black people, we got to make better decisions in general, not just with them. Like I said, I'm not victim blaming, but we got to make better decisions and get out of this following phase and trying to be phase and trying to look like this phase and trying to do like that phase. I'm not judging anybody, but I'm just telling you a lot of things happen because of the choices that we make. And this is a learning lesson for a lot of people. I hate that this had to happen to them, but a lot of people are going to learn from this, because there's a lot of people going to Mexico. We also had the situation with, I think it's Chantilla Robinson, that was killed by her friends while in Mexico. I just heard about a couple other stories of people getting kidnapped or being stuck in Mexico. All right, hey, listen, stay out of Mexico. On the report that I played earlier, they said Mexico is just as dangerous categorically as Afghanistan. And I guarantee you nobody would go to Afghanistan or Iraq or anything like that. And I've been to all of them. So, we gotta make better decisions, man. If you feel any doubt about stuff like this, then don't do it. Don't do it, man. But that's really it. I just wanted to give you my thoughts, man. I'm not victim blaming. Rest in peace to the family, the members that passed away. Get well for the ones that made it. I know they're going to be very, traumatized by this situation. Listen, stay out of Mexico. Stay out of any of these foreign countries. And we think we got it bad a lot of times in America, which some of us do, but we got a lot of opportunities in America. And when we go to these third world countries and see things going on, we realize how much money and how rich we really are sometimes, because, they scraping up, just to get a few bucks in some of these towns and countries. So, I mean, man, that's all I got for now. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. It's your man, Ochibo Beats. I'm out.